Welcome to part 2 of my Why You Keep Failing at Your Goals series. Yesterday, we discussed that you are setting too many goals and you need to focus on one high impact goal. Today, we're going to be talking about procrastination. A lot of us are saying we're working on our goals, and we are saying that to avoid the truth that are really just preparing for our goals, and you've become very sophisticated at avoiding them. Again, you're not lazy, you're not unfocused, you're not undisciplined. You're just focusing in the wrong direction. You're putting all of your focus on the wrong thing. And today we're going to talk about why, and again, how you can fix it. If you're new here, my name is Quenisha, and I'm your host, coach, teacher, and fellow baddie. This is my podcast, Be a Better Baddie, the community where women come to become their most balanced, authentic, driven, deserving, iconic, and evolving selves. Here's what the problem can look like in real life. You say, I want to start a business. So you spend 3 weeks researching what an LLC is. What brand colors should I have? What website should I use? But you haven't talked to one potential customer yet, or even come up with the business idea. Or it could be, I want to write a book. So you start looking into publishing deals. You start looking into how to market a book. You start looking at cover designs, but you haven't written a single chapter yet. Or you say you want to get healthy. So you spend hours researching the best meal prep containers, building your workout playlist, or downloading fitness app, but you still haven't actually worked out yet. Do you see the disconnect? So here's what's happening. We are confusing preparation for progress. And preparation feels like work, right? The research that you're doing, the anticipation of what's coming next feels like real work. And you can even tell people, I'm working on this, right? Me doing research on how to start a business, I can tell people I'm working on a business. But if nothing actually gets built, started, written, you don't take that first step, then you're not making progress. Instead, you're managing the anxiety of starting the goal by staying busy, doing things around it, rather than jumping inside of the goal, right? Like you don't jump into the eye of the hurricane. Now, there are a few reasons why we do this, and obviously I don't know every reason why you do it. But one, starting something makes it feel real. When you actually start it and there's the potential to fail, that's also real, but you rather stay in that safe zone where you're constantly preparing for the thing and you're making it feel like I am making sure before I jump into this, everything is perfect. But that is perfect and untested and not real. Secondly, we've been conditioned to over research. There's an overload of information out there. So you can over research everything. You can see how other people did it. You can see what the science says about it. You can see how they did in the 60s, what happened now. And we've been taught to believe that more information equals better decisions. But honestly, the more information you get, the harder it is for you to make a decision. Sometimes you just have to go for it and try it. So in this case, information overload is just a safe hiding space for you. We also like to skip to the exciting part. The work leading up to a goal, the process is not the glamorous, exciting part. We like to see the finished product. We want to see the end product. We want to do the fun things, right? The marketing of the business, the launch of the business, the actual business is just booming. So we end up fantasizing about the end product, the end destination, rather than doing the unglamorous work of step 1, step 2, step 3. A final reason that we tend to stay in research zone is we think we need to be completely ready to get started. We need to have all of our T's crossed, all of our I's dotted to actually take step 1. And again, false. You will never feel ready. You will never really truly feel 100% ready for anything. Readiness is built through doing the thing, not preparing to do the thing. So I want to tell you about someone in my accountability group. And of course, I am going to use very loose details because confidentiality is important in my accountability group. She started the 12 weeks with the goal of publishing a book. And it's a book that she had been working on before this. Beautiful goal, right? It was very aligned with her. It was an expression of who she is as a person. And in the same breath with her saying, I want to publish this book, she said, but I need to go and figure out how to market it first. And I was like, That doesn't even make sense. I was like, wait a minute. Is the book done? Like, is it ready? She said no. And I said, so why does marketing matter right now? Why does it matter what audience, how to sell it if you haven't even gotten the product out? There was pause because she knew in that moment. She knew she had jumped to step 27 when she was really at step one still, right? So she was building all this anxiety around the end product and trying to make sure she was prepared for the final step when she hadn't really done step one, step two, step three. While she was focused on a problem in the future, the actual goal of writing her book, revising, editing, getting feedback, that hadn't been done, right? She was facing this decision paralysis in a sense. And obviously, I'm not criticizing her. This is something that most ambitious people do. I've done it multiple times, multiple times. When I said at the top of the episode that you're working on your website and don't even know what your brand is, that was me. Okay. That's the reason I don't have a website right now, because I was putting too much effort into what is on the website versus what Be a Better Baddie is. The website is Instagram. The website is YouTube. The website is the links in the link tree. That is the website. Otherwise, I would be focused on making sure I have this beautiful, polished image. And I just don't need it right now. We're so focused on being prepared for the outcome that we actually forget to create the outcome, to go through the process. The first goal isn't to publish the book. The first goal is to write the book. Everything else comes after she writes that book. So, how do you know you're doing this? One, you've probably been working on a goal for months or years with nothing to show for it. Second, you keep finding new things to learn or new things to do before you even get started. Third, you can feel like you're really busy and then you take a step out and you're like, whoa, I actually haven't made any progress at all. Fourth, you do a really good job at describing what the end goal is. You're like, I want to have this, 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 and this, and this, and this, and this. And then when I ask you, okay, what did you do this week to work towards that goal? Crickets. And finally, you've told people about the goal, but you haven't taken a single step towards doing anything towards it. There's no visibility around that goal. If you did any of those, then you are in the trap of over preparing for your goal. The solution is a simple reframe. Instead of you thinking, what do I need to know before I start? Say, what do I actually need to do first? Go from your brain to action. What is the thing that you actually need to do? Once you have a concrete action, then you can think about the things that you need to know or the things that you need to learn. You don't want to jump to the last step, right? We want to have the end goal in mind. That is what motivates us, right? Because that's the pretty part of the goal. But that is not where you begin. That first real action is what's going to lead you towards that end. So if the goal is to start a business, that first step probably isn't designing your logo. It's probably talking to someone about it, a potential customer. Would you buy this? Have you bought something like this before? What makes you want to buy this? If you're writing that book, the first step isn't thinking, how do I market this? The first step is writing the book. And writing a book in itself is already a lot. I have many books, books that have been started in my Google Drive. They are still in the Google Drive. If the goal is for you to get healthy, then the first step is to start moving your body and making different decisions about what you eat, not which containers do your food go in. The theme of the last couple weeks for me has been clarity. I feel like I've been coming to realize a lot of things that were right in front of me, and it came from doing. Clarity doesn't come from you doing research. Clarity comes from you actually doing the thing and then adjusting based on what you learn. I've been doing a lot of doing lately in terms of my business, and I am learning and I am adjusting along the way. Yesterday, you picked your high impact goal. Today, what is your actual first step? Not what you need to know, not what you need to learn, not the things you're doing around the goal. I want you to attack the goal. What is the first thing that you need to do? What's the second thing you need to do? What's the third thing you need to do? Figure out the steps and write it down. And I'm going to emphasize write it down because writing connects things to your brain better than typing does. And when you write down that one thing that you need to do it before the week is over. And it doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be documented because we are in a documentation overload. Everyone feels like they need to document their process. You don't need to document it, right? Just do the thing. Because the version of you that is going to complete the action in the end isn't going to be the version that was the most perfect in the beginning. It's going to be the version of you that figured it out along the way. If you want to be in a supportive environment, building your plan, identifying the steps that'll lead you towards success, then the Better Baddie experience is where you're going to do that. On May 30th, 10 a.m. Central to noon, we are going to meet here in the virtual space. First, we're going to build some clarity around your goal, pick that high impact goal, then build out the action steps. No thinking about what you need to research or know, getting straight to the action. And if you want to take it a step further and you want to be in the accountability group, that is when we check in every single week to make sure that you are still on track. You can get feedback from other women. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Sometimes we get so wrapped up in our own minds that we just get stuck, right? And you don't have to go through that. The link, of course, is in the description. And I will see you all tomorrow for our third trap. Bye.